All right, we live? I think so. Okay, so today's going to be a more laid-back, chill stream. So this is going to be for, I guess, the people that didn't catch a stream live that are watching this after the fact. So what's going on, guys? How you doing? How's the weekend? A little unorganized today. Got kind of stuff all over the place. Let me see. Okay, so I might have to have a little break in the middle of today's stream. Got some people coming over real quick, so just a quick heads up. So the goal for today's AMA live stream, I'm just going to be talking about the plans that I'm working on for the future, not just for my YouTube channel, but also my plans for life in general. And I was just going to kind of go over some things that I'm trying to work out financially, and I'm trying to work out with my time, and sort of wait until some of the people show up, and then we can get the Ask Me Anything section of the stream started. Which in all honesty is my favorite part. I know it usually takes a while for people to come on by. I'm still wondering if doing this on a Saturday is the best day to have a live stream. Because I was thinking about Sundays, but the problem with Sundays is Sundays are kind of like a family day and also like sort of like a religious day for people. So I figured maybe I'll just keep it to Saturday, if that makes any sense. Let's see. Okay, so let's go over some of the video stuff that I've been working on. Now, the past two videos that I posted were not my typical kind of self-development content. They were sort of like more personal, since it involved my family and mostly my dad with the whole colorblind thing. But the inspiration behind those videos was that I sort of wanted to take a little break from their normal established content that I had been posting. You know, kind of like the more serious self-development, motivational type of stuff. And it's been just about 25 months now of posting consistently on my channel. And I was kind of like, I sort of needed a little break from the grind and sort of just do a couple things that I thought were more creative and more fun. Because at the end of the day, I still want this YouTube channel to be enjoyable and to be fun and to be something that I love to do. But at the same time, it's hard to consistently churn out more and more content that I think will perform well, or that I think that people will enjoy, rather than creating content that I love. So I was kind of like, okay, let's take a break for a couple weeks. And I took some vacation time off work, which I was talking about in my last stream. Went up north with the family, spent some time outdoors, and then I made a couple of videos that were just super random and off the cuff and not serious at all. And hold on. What happened was I ended up getting about, I think it was a couple hundred gigabytes of footage from my camera, my drone, and a bunch of like random things that we did, like going on a hike, going swimming, going canoeing, and and just spending quality time with my family. And I sort of just was filming everything randomly. And then when I got home and I uploaded the footage to my computer, I had all kinds of interesting shots that I got. And this was in conjunction with Father's Day, which was the whole colorblind glasses gift that we gave to my dad. And I was like, hey, let's make a video out of this, I don't really know how people are going to respond to a type of video like that. It's because the painting one, I figured that it would do poorly because prior to that, I had created a video about trying to paint to increase my creativity. And this was a video that didn't perform well at all. It actually kind of bombed. And it's one of my worst videos on my channel. So I was like, I think the whole painting thing with my dad probably wouldn't do well. But it was something that was really fun for me to do. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and create it just for me. Hey, Narav, what's up? How you doing? No? No to what? But as I was saying, yes, so I figured the painting video with my dad would perform poorly, but that didn't stop me from just kind of going all out and creating it, because I spent a lot of time on that video. Oh, it was not a bad video. Oh, thanks, dude. It's just that it's hard because, like, when you put so much effort into something like a YouTube video, obviously you want it to do well, right? Like you don't want to be putting in like 30 hours of work into like this masterpiece and then posting it, and then it doesn't really, you know, people don't resonate with the message or people don't enjoy the video. It does make you kind of feel bad, but at the same time, I don't want to get caught up in just, you know, analytical stuff. So the intent with that video was just, it was kind of like something for me. It was something that I love to do, something that I really wanted to do. And you could probably tell by the filming, I was just having so much fun. You know, there's all these shots of us hiking, and I was flying my drone like over this cliff and down by the water. And it was just like, I don't know, it's just a really fun day, right? But then at the same time, you're like, how does this apply to self-development? Or how does this apply to bettering your life? It kind of doesn't, right? But I'm like, it's all right. So I was fine with that, you know, just video, just doing whatever, view-wise or like-wise. And this was like kind of the struggle that I've been having lately. And I've been talking about this a lot, this urge to create for the love of creating, and the urge to create things that will do well. It's not a bad video. No, it's one of the experiences you had. Doesn't have to be a hardcore self-development. Yeah, that's true. It's just tough because I don't know what you guys think, right? Unless you leave me a message in the comments, which you did, Nirav, which I really appreciated. But before making the video, I have no idea if it's something that you guys will like or not, right? So I don't really have that feedback in real time that you guys can give me. Like here in the live stream, it's cool because, you know, I can get your feedback now, and then I know that it was a video that you enjoyed, and I don't always have to post like hardcore self-development stuff. I would always, because I resonated with that idea. Oh, that's cool. See, like the feedback that I receive is very important. I like to listen to what you guys have to say. So like, it really does help. The last two videos had something real which we could relate to, fatherly emotions. Yeah, that so let's talk about that video a little bit. For like the longest time, for probably almost about 8 years now, I think, I've been wanting to buy those colorblind glasses for my dad. And for whatever reason, I just couldn't bring myself to like purchasing the ones that were very popular at the time, because I think they were called like in chroma colorblind glasses, but they were think they're like 300 or 400 US plus shipping and duty and taxes and currency conversion rate and all this like stuff. It's really expensive, right? And this is like a gift from like my family, my brother, my wife and his girlfriend. It's like we would all chip in, right? And imagine trying to convince people to chip in hundreds of dollars for a gift that may or may not work, right? Like we're not talking about like a $30 t-shirt or something. This is like hundreds of dollars for a pair of glasses that may or may not work. Because I wanted to surprise him with this gift. I didn't want to have him like, hey dad, take this like colorblind test that's specific for Duratans or whatever you call it. And so I can get you a proper prescription of the glasses. Because then that ruins the whole surprise, right? Because then he knows there's a reason why I'm asking him to do a colorblind test, right? So when I saw this one on the Canadian Amazon site, that the quality wasn't as good, but the price was like a lot cheaper. It was like way more affordable. Shipping was free and there was no duties. And I was like, you know what? If these don't work and we spend like, I don't know, $180 or divided amongst 4 people, then it's not as bad, right? For all of us. So it was a lot easier to convince like my brother and his girlfriend and my wife that we should buy this. Hey Forrest, how you doing? Hold on. In the end, we're all humans. If you could touch, that's enough for me at least. Yeah, I never really thought of that. Like we all have that connection, with our parents, right? So I never really thought that is something that all of us would share in common. I think I was more focused on the colorblind thing. I was like, color blindness is so rare. Like who's gonna find this video interesting? Like no one really knows my family. I don't know anyone else who has color blindness. So, and I was thinking like, what's the point of sharing this video? Is there a point? Is there a reason to? But I think the main reason why I wanted to create it was sort of for myself. I kind of wanted to capture those memories and capture that moment in time so I can kind of like look back on it, when I'm older and be like, oh, hey, this was a video that was really important to me and my dad in my past, in my life, and that this is like something that I can kind of always look back on. So I don't know, it was a lot of fun making these videos that were kind of different, right? But I'm super happy you guys like them. How you doing, Forrest? You've made it to every single live stream so far. Thank you. Thank you so much. It gets lonely without you guys. You know what I was thinking? I kind of enjoy, even though the stream is difficult, like sort of like when no one shows up and I'm stuck with my thoughts and sort of talking to myself. And I was thinking it is nice that we have this sort of intimate stream where there's only like a couple people show up and we can have sort of in-depth conversations and I remember you guys. But like at the same time, what would happen if the stream gets bigger? Would I get overwhelmed or would I enjoy it as much? You did something selflessly for your dad. That love and affection, and that's what your father felt, had to be documented. And you did it even if it does get views. Someday your daughter. Oh, yeah, even that too, right? Like my daughter can look back on this video when she was super young of, her grandpa seeing color for the first time. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool memory, right? Let's someday have a Google Meet. What's that? Google Meet? Oh, just here melting? Oh, wait, what temperature is it? And let me Google. Me and my love for geography. Kosovo. Temperature. Oh, man. 34 with the high of 37. That's, what's that in Fahrenheit? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. So it's like almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow, that's really hot. Yeah, what, it's not as hot here. It actually cooled down, like, randomly. Yeah, it's 19. So it's 19 degrees right here in Toronto, and it's probably gonna rain. You know, this is one thing with living in Canada. We have the weather that just makes no sense. Like in the middle of July, we were having like 32 degrees, 30, 31. And then you would think that we're sort of just getting into the middle of summer, and then all of a sudden it just like cools down out of nowhere. And now here it's like 18, 19. Last week it was 42. Oh man, 42. That's isn't that dangerous? 42 degrees Celsius? Holy, that's probably like extreme heat warning, no? Like that sounds insane. Google Meet is the same as Zoom, but has unlimited video chat. Oh, really? Google Meet. Oh, I see. Yeah, so it's like Zoom, but you can connect a whole bunch of people, like in like a conference call. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I never knew. I never knew about Google Meet. Yeah, 42 degrees. That's insane. Like, isn't that like super dangerous for like homeless people and like dehydration and stuff? I'd imagine that's horrible. Hello, Derek. My exams are finally over and I can finally watch this. Hey, Batiste, what's up, man? How you doing? It's been a while. How did your exams go? You know what? I'm glad that it sounds like you focused on your exams and you took them seriously. That's something that I could never do. I don't know why. I just for whatever reason I could never lock in that sense of urgency when it came to schoolwork and really focus on my exams and kind of push away things like YouTube and video games. But I'm glad to hear that you're focusing on them. And how'd you do? How were they? Let's do it right now. The Google Meet. Is that gonna work? How would I do that while streaming though? Like, I feel like, is like the sound and everything gonna get conflicted? I have no idea. Google Meet. Yeah, one thing that I don't think I regret it, but whenever I think back about, you know, education and school, I always, sometimes I wish like, oh hey, I wish I kind of finished university and then I got my degree, because then I'd have this sort of linear path in life where I'm in a specific field and then I know what type of companies I could work for and get like a job and just sort of like grow that way. But at the same time, the point that I'm at now, even though I took a very financial unstable route to get here and it was very crazy and tough journey, I don't think I would trade that to have my degree, if that makes any sense. Like, I do know that education is important, and I always support people that do that, but at the same time, I don't know, I feel like it just sort of wasn't for me. Yes, why not just start a meeting? Let's not. First. Doing good. I graduated of 3rd year of study, and that means in France you can choose a particular field of study. So the next 2 years I will study business unit management. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, so I'm assuming 3rd year, so you're in university or college? So you can choose a particular field to study. Oh, okay, so you kind of get to like specialize what you want to do. See, the weird thing here is when I was in university, like I was taking computer science, right? And you would think that you would have like math and physics and computer courses, but we had like history and geography, sociology, like all these courses that had no relation to computer science at all. And there's like this argument that students should study a wide array of subjects to become a more balanced and well-read human being, sort of. But at the same time, it's like, man, I thought you go to like university or college for specialization, like to pick a certain career or particular field that you can focus on and sort of like not have to take all those general courses. Because isn't that what like high school was for? You know, like high school, you got to take English, you got to take history, math, and you sort of get this balanced education. It's just strange how, you know, all countries do everything differently. Hey, but I'm glad to hear that you're doing good though. Just start a meeting and send the code to us. Okay, I have no idea how this would work. But then if we do a Google Meet, like what's gonna happen with the audio? Is it gonna overlap with this one? Yeah, I have no idea how that works. Yeah, I'm so far removed from school now. It's been so long. You know what I do believe in though? I highly believe that education does not stop after school. This is something that I think a lot of people make the mistake. It's sort of like education starts and happens throughout school, but then once school is over, education is over as well, and then you just enter the workforce and you just make money. You know, I think that's a huge mistake. Hi Derek, I send you a greeting from Spain. Oh, Spain in the house. What's going on? I have followed you since the beginning of your YouTube channel, and I want to tell you that your advice and way of transmitting have helped me a lot. Oh wow, really? That's awesome. Even from like the muscle up, eating protein videos. Oh man, those first few videos are rough. Like when I look back at those now, it's just like, oh man. I had no idea what I was doing in the beginning, like 2 years ago in 2019. Wow. Hey, but thanks for stopping by in the live stream. How do I say your name? Is it Jesus? Jesus? I'm really bad with pronunciation, so sorry if I'm butchering it. But that's cool, man. Always love to hear from people in other countries. I remember one time we had like someone from Australia, someone from Germany, someone from Brazil. Like it was like people from all over the world. Like that's like so awesome that something like YouTube could just reach, you know, people that I would never come in contact with, you know, like ever in my life. My name is Jesus Burrito. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Burrito? Burrito. I'm a Spanish filmmaker. Sorry for my... No, your English is good, man. I'm sorry for my lack of other languages. Like, I only speak English. It's... So all you guys that are like bilingual or trilingual, like mad respect. Because that's so... Like, I know how difficult it is to learn other languages. Because like here in Canada, we're sort of forced to learn French because French is our second language as a country. And man, it's so hard. I found French so difficult, even though I took it for so long. Baptiste probably is laughing at me for my lack of knowledge in French. Oh, you're a Spanish filmmaker. Oh, that's interesting. Do you have like a YouTube channel or somewhere where you post your work? My sister is your newest sub. Oh, that's awesome, Forrest. And she was binge watching those videos about a week ago. She said, he is allergic to life too. Oh man. Allergic to life. Yeah, I've been allergic to so many things. Hey, thanks for letting your sister know about the channel. All that, you know, like every view, every sub, every person that I come across, it all matters, right? It all means a lot to me because I remember in 2019 when I was starting this whole YouTube channel stuff, I would post videos. And it would get like 3 views. And 2 of them would be me refreshing. And then 1 would just be like Tina, right? And I was like, man, how is anyone like ever gonna care or want to watch like these videos that I make? And it just seems like it was like a fruitless endeavor where it felt like I was just wasting my time, you know? I was like, what am I doing here? Like I'm trying to like motivate people and share my experiences in life and try to reach someone, but like no one is watching, and it was very depressing and it was hard. But for whatever reason, I sort of just kept going. I don't even know why. There wasn't, because there's no guarantee that you're ever going to be successful, right, with something like YouTube. And so, but for whatever reason, I had this irrational confidence to just keep going. And I guess in time, it sort of just got better and better. In France, there's something we could call it diploma cult. We push teenagers to get a degree as fast as possible at an age where boys and girls only think about partying. Oh, that's interesting. A diploma cult. So you is this something that's pushed by the government or by society? Because that's good because you guys are focused on education, right? French is really painful to learn. So many strange grammatic rules. Yeah, like when I was learning French, man, I was like, I couldn't understand. Like, oh, hold on, what's going on? Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Sorry. Yeah, French was tough. It was really tough for me. To learn. So mad respect for anyone that's, you know, bilingual. How's the weather today in Canada? Hey, it's not too bad. It's like 19. It's 19 and sunny. I went for a nice walk this morning before the stream just to like sort of clear my head. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't too cold. 19 Celsius seems kind of weird though for the end of July. Usually it's warmer. But thanks for coming by. Omkar? Is that right? Yes, I have a YouTube channel. I paralyzed it because of the pandemic. I work in an audio-visual communication agency, and recently I am working on my personal brand. It has been a hard road. It is not easy to go from being behind the camera to going out in front of it. Oh, wow. Oh, that's pretty cool. Audio-visual communication agency. Yeah, it's very difficult to go from the filmmaker to being the person that's being recorded on, like from behind, like how you said, from going behind the camera to in front of it. It's very difficult because I had sort of the same thing. I was doing like wedding videography and short commercials for companies and sort of like the more freelancing work. And it's so much less pressure because it's other people that are being put on the spot, right? And you just have to manage your time and resources with your camera, right? But then when I transitioned into YouTube and I was putting myself in front of the camera, it's like you got to think about how you look, you got to think about how you speak, you got to be very careful about what you say and that you don't stutter and you don't like mess up your speech and you convey your thoughts and ideas out in an entertaining way. And it's so much more difficult. So trust me, I know exactly what you're going through. Sometimes I share your videos on Twitter and Facebook. I don't know if anyone ever notices them. My family and most of my older relatives speak French and say they love how it sounds, how easy it is to learn. I can't remember a word for the life of me. Oh, thanks, Forrest, for sharing them on Twitter and Facebook. That's really nice of you. I appreciate it. You know, I really, like, I can't say enough how much, you know, I appreciate that you guys, you know, enjoy the videos that I put out, because I try to put a lot of time and effort into them. Yes, French is a beautiful language. Like when you hear it, it just sort of, it like flows, right? It's like that movie, The Matrix, when that guy, the Merovingian, what was his name? The guy with the tie. And I always remember him saying that French is his favorite language because it flows off the tongue like silk or something. Yes, lots of love from India, bro. Hey, what's going on in India, man? It's probably super hot over there, right? Sorry, temperature in India. Okay, so 29? I thought it would be hotter. So Forest is in the hottest weather right now. Society, I would say. As a kid, I remember every adult telling me to find what I want to do later as fast as I can. But there is nothing organized to make you try things. You choose without knowledge. Every adult telling me to find what I want to do later as fast as I can. Yeah, that's huge right there. When he said there is nothing organized to make you try things. Like, this is one of the things that was huge for me later in life, was just trying like things that put me outside of my comfort zone. Because like when I was 16, I had no interest in cameras. I had no interest in writing or public speaking or any of these things. Like I had zero interest in any of those things, and there was no opportunities for me to go and try to pursue those things. And it wasn't until later in life where I finally, you know, got into writing and I finally got into filmmaking. I was like, wow, this is amazing. How come I didn't find this earlier? Life is a super strange thing. But French is good when you want to flirt outside of France. You know what? People probably love the French accent, right? People in Greece and Albania aren't going out at all during the day, because it's super hot. Man, that's crazy. What if you don't have like AC? What if you don't have air conditioning? Like that must be horrible. If it's like 42 that one day, that seems so dangerous. How long is your summers, Forrest? I always wonder. Do you have like multiple seasons? Yes, I was so happy when I discovered your channel. I didn't know I was looking for a channel like yours. Oh, that's cool. You know, I never knew I was even creating a channel like this. I literally had no plan or intentions with what I was doing in the beginning, but I'm glad that you enjoy it. 16 degrees where I'm in France. Oh, that's even cooler than here. I don't know. We aren't used to this. This isn't normal for this part of the world. Oh, maybe it's just like a super heat wave or something. Or is this like all this whole global warming stuff? Like I have no idea how any of that works, but man, that's crazy hot. Can you even, you can't even go on your hikes then, right? Can you? Like you usually like to go on hikes, right, Forrest? Like that must be, you'd have to bring like a whole jug of water with you. You should try traveling the whole world making vlogs. That's amazing outside. Oh, okay. So interesting that you said that. I've always had a plan, or not a plan, I should say, a desire to make some sort of travel videos where I kind of wanted to go back to a couple countries that I really love to visit and sort of, you know, make an interesting video out of it. Because like I've been to the US, I've been to the Caribbean, I've been to Europe, I've been to Asia, like I've been to a whole bunch of places. But when I went, I was never into videography or photography. So I have hardly any like recorded memories or pictures of those places that I've been to. But now, because I have like a GoPro and a camera and a drone and all these things, right? I was like, oh man, it'd be really cool to make like a travel video to like Hawaii or something. Because that was one of my favorite places that I've ever been to was going to Hawaii. And when we did go, we had a really old GoPro. So we did get some footage of like turtles and swimming with manta rays and a bunch of things like that, which is really cool. But I'm talking about like Windows Movie Maker quality of a video, like that type of video, you know? And I was like, man, I really want to like travel somewhere, you know, and show like a country's beauty in an amazing and entertaining way. And then I was talking to my dad about this because it's funny because my dad, he was into photography his whole life, right? And then he sort of kind of gave it up for the past, I would say 30 years. He kind of gave it up, or maybe even more, maybe 40 years. Yeah, so about 40 years he gave it up. And then all of a sudden he saw that I had a camera and then I was into videography. And then he was like, oh man. And it sort of like, it scratched this itch that he had in the back of his mind to take pictures. And then all of a sudden, like a week later, he was looking at cameras himself, and then he picked up a Fuji camera. And then my dad, all of a sudden out of nowhere, he has gone all into photography. Like that passion he had inside of him, it sparked and it's kind of ignited, because I sort of inspired him by this new gear that I had. I was like, oh, hey dad, look at this, you know, this mirrorless camera that I have. It does this and it does this. And he was like, oh man, back in my day when I was shooting, we had to develop the film roll in the that red room. Like, you know, those rooms where the light is only red, you had to develop the film manually, because we're talking about like 1970s here. This is like when my dad was big into photography. And he went all in on like the camera stuff, and he bought like a Fuji camera and all these lenses, and he was telling me like he wants to do travel photography, and I was like, oh dude, perfect. Like, I want to do travel videography, you want to do travel photography, let's sort of do something. So we have some plans to hopefully go on vacation some places, but the problem is with COVID, it's tough, right? It's really hard because I don't know what the travel restrictions are going to be, right? Hey, Brian, what's up, bro? Prime time. I told you once in your first stream, I think, that the hottest it would ever get here in Kosovo was 22, and winters are minus 22. Wow, that's a huge difference. The hottest was 22, now it's like mid-30s. These last 20 years have changed everything. Dang. Hey, Tina's in the chat too. Wow. Yeah, that's a huge change in temperature. Wow, your winters are minus 22? That's like so extreme. You have like extreme heat and extreme cold. That's sort of similar to Canada in a way, kind of. People love watching different people, their culture, girls, amazing landscape, and yeah, your video editing is amazing. You should give it a try. Yeah, I want to. It's just the only thing I'm afraid of is, like, right now you can book a flight and fly out of Canada, but what if this COVID Delta variant stuff spikes and Canada closes their borders, which they have done in the past, and you kind of can't get back into the country, so then you're kind of screwed. And our government made an announcement that if you travel at your own risk, and that they won't help you if the borders close and you get stuck. So at the same time, while me and Tina, we really want to travel, like as soon as possible, but not knowing what the future will hold because of COVID, it kind of disrupts our whole plans, and it's really difficult to figure out what to do. But it was our normal. It was that way for generations. You know what? When I was younger, our weather was, I feel like it was more consistent. I remember always having snow during Christmas. But nowadays, near the end of December, we don't have any snow. Like, everything is still melted. And I think we don't get snow till the end of January or closer to February. Don't. Delta is the worst for kids. Yeah, see, that's another thing too. Like, if we travel, we're gonna bring Tiffany, right? And she's only a year and a half. And so it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, we're planning to travel next year and hope that in 2022 things will get a little bit better. And I don't know, we're just gonna have to wait and see, right? So there's lots of things in the works. I have lots of plans for the future. But again, it sort of depends on things that are outside of my control, right? We were super close to booking our trip to Hawaii. I think last week we were super close to booking it. But we're gonna have to play the waiting game and sort of wait and see what happens in the US and you know, what the Canadian government decides when it comes to travel. Another thing that's weird is like the whole vaccine thing, because some countries don't recognize vaccines as valid. So like, you could be double vaccinated, but if the country you're going to doesn't recognize those manufacturers, then you're kind of like out of luck. So I'm like, how does that work? So that's confusing as well too, right? Because I've heard some countries say like, oh, we recognize Pfizer as a viable vaccine. But then like, oh, we don't recognize Moderna. But then in North America, they're giving out Moderna to everybody. So I'm like, everything is so messed up. It's so confusing and difficult to make a rational decision. I was planning a trip in Ireland this summer. Oh, Ireland, that's pretty cool. But I'll stay in France due to COVID. I'm going to do something called the GR10. It's a huge walk near the French-Spain border. See, that'd be pretty cool going to Ireland. That's not too far from France, right? But again, the same thing. What happens if you go to Ireland and then COVID spikes or something crazy happens and then Ireland doesn't allow flights out, or maybe France doesn't allow international flights in, then you get kind of screwed over. Like, there's so many things that could happen, right? I think I've heard of that walk, a huge walk near the French-Spain border. That sounds familiar. I think someone's, maybe my dad has talked to me about that before. Have you ever visited the Northern Lights in Canada? No, unfortunately not. You know what's really sad? I haven't really traveled much in Canada at all, to be perfectly honest. Like I've been to like Montreal, which is very similar to Canada, except they speak mostly French there. It's very French influenced city. But aside from like Toronto and Montreal, like I don't think I've ever really traveled anywhere. I haven't been to Vancouver or any of those other places out west, unfortunately. I'm sure there's some cool things that I could do here. Oh, you know what? So maybe if the whole like going to Hawaii or flying international doesn't work, then maybe I could travel domestic and go to a place like Vancouver or something, because Vancouver has like beautiful scenery and mountains and lakes and like a lot of really nice spots in nature, right? That would be pretty cool to go and see. It's just so tough. Because at the same time, I wanted to travel in February because it gets super cold here. And I was like, oh man, you know, let's escape the cold and go to somewhere super warm, right? But if I go to Vancouver in February, it's just as bad there, because there's nowhere in Canada in the winter where it's super warm, because we can't travel south. Like the furthest south we can go is to like the border by New York or Detroit, and that's pretty much it, I think. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So yeah, so those are the travel plans that I have in 2020. I sort of want to challenge myself creatively with the type of videos that I make, because one thing that's not really enjoyable about YouTube is just like sort of making videos where it's just like a talking face, right? Those are really easy. You just put your camera on a tripod and you just sit in your room, right, and just talk. But whenever I do something extremely difficult, like flying my drone somewhere, or trying to use a GoPro underwater, or trying to take some videos or pictures of a bird outside on an island, like all these things that are extremely difficult, it improves my ability as a filmmaker. And I really embrace those challenges, and I really like them because it improves the quality of my work. And these are sort of like more things that I want to do in the future, because I don't want to just be complacent and, you know, and just be happy with where I'm at. Like I always want to do more. I want to get better. I want to be more creative. I want to learn more things. I always want to get to that next level and improve, right? Oh man, I wish I could teleport to Iceland right now and have our tea time under the aurora. Oh man, the aurora borealis. That's another place on my list. I heard that it's insanely expensive to buy food though. Like some of Tina's cousins were talking about how when they went to Iceland, all they could afford to eat was like hot dogs. Because regular food is like super expensive. And they were saying like a $1 hot dog here in North America is like $7 over there. And a beer is like 25 bucks. I was like, what? Like if you have a hot dog and a beer, you're looking at like $32? Like that's insane. Because that won't even keep you full. Like for $32, a hot dog and a beer? So I don't know how that's gonna work. But yeah, Iceland is definitely on my list. Oh, is that why? Everything has to be shipped there. And it takes forever. Actually, that makes sense because Iceland is just like a little island, right? Oh, So they have to import... They probably have to import so much food, I'm assuming. And then it just ends up being super expensive for the country to import. So then those prices are put back onto the consumers. I guess that makes sense. Because Hawaii was kind of like that. When I went to Hawaii, they like don't have vegetables or something. It's very strange. Like there's so much meat and like rice and fish and stuff like that. But when I wanted to like have a salad or eat a cucumber or a tomato or something, like I couldn't find it anywhere. It was so bizarre. And I was thinking, well, maybe those type of vegetables they can't grow in Hawaii for some reason. And then we would go to like a store and they'd have like a head of lettuce or like a cucumber and it's like $6. And I was like, what? Like that doesn't make any sense. But then if you think about like the goods that countries have to import in, and maybe they have to pay a premium and that's why it's super expensive. So I don't know, it's tough, but Iceland is on my list as well. Oh, to be honest, it's on my dad's list. He's the one that kind of convinced me that we have to go to Iceland one day. Sort of because like I guess you would say the landscape is. Oh, is the music too loud? Maybe that's just a song. I can't tell if the music is too loud or not, but whatever. If it is, just someone just tell me. So what other spots did I have that I wanted to go to? Definitely a trip in Europe sometime. That'd be nice to do. Oh, okay, music's fine. Okay, cool. This is also why living on the French island. Oh, how do you pronounce that? Guadeloupe, Martinique, and Mayotte is so expensive. Everything has to be shipped. French island. Never heard of those places. Let me look it up. How do you spell that? Guadeloupe. Let's see what's going on in Google Maps. Oh, wow. What is going on? It's interesting. Faroe Islands? Yeah, it must be like super expensive just to import anything. Wait, are these... Oh, they're all over the world. Am I looking at the right thing? May Mayotte? Mayotte? I have no idea how to say that. That one is near Madagascar? Is that right? Oh, it is. It's in the Indian Ocean between Madagascar and the coast of Mozambique. It's the department and region of France. Oh, wow. So this is considered part of France, so you could fly here and be like a citizen if you're from France? Or sorry, how do you say France? France, right? France? Man, it's I have the worst pronunciation. Wow, that's crazy, because that's so far from France. That's like on the southeast side of Africa. That's crazy. And that's part of France. Wow. What's the other one? Martinique. Martinique. Where is this one? Oh, this one's in the Caribbean. So this is just above St. Lucia. Oh, that's so bizarre. Yes, they are very far from France, but it's part of the French Republic. They have the same laws as France. Wow, I never knew that. That's so cool. So France has an island. Oh my gosh. Wait, so if you can you fly there directly from France and then it'd be considered a domestic flight? Wow, how does that work? Because like if you're, I guess it's sort of like Hawaii, like how Hawaii is an American state. But if you're American, you can fly from like California and take a domestic flight directly to Hawaii, and you don't have to go through like international customs because you're just flying US to US. So would that be the same, I guess, for France? Or no, maybe the flight is too far. Like if you leave France, you gotta go all the way across the North Atlantic Ocean. Wow, that's wild. That's so cool. And France owns Guyane, Saint Pierre, and Miquelon? Oh man. You're giving me a super interesting geography lesson. I never would have thought in a million years that an island off the coast of Venezuela in the Caribbean was like part of the French Republic or France Republic or whatever you call it. That's crazy. Wait, so if you go there, do they use like the euro dollars? Like how does that work? Do they have their own local currency? See, these streams are like a mini version of school where you learn new things every time. #life. Yeah, see, it's like this is what I love about education. It's topics that are interesting that you choose to learn about are the most exciting. And whenever I was in school, it was like topics that I was forced to learn about. I never had any interest in them, and I always kind of hated education. But now it's like all these things about geography and weather that you guys are like teaching me about, I find super interesting. Oh, they also use the euros. Wow. Okay, so then it would be expensive. That would be an expensive place in the Caribbean to go to for someone from like North America, because normally from Canada, when you go to like Mexico or the Caribbean or somewhere, their money isn't worth that much. So then you can go on vacation there for like super cheap. But if you have to go to this island and they use the euros because it's part of France, that's going to be super expensive, because if the euro dollar, I believe it's a lot stronger than the Canadian dollar. Because the euro is even more, it's even more expensive than the American dollar. So for the Canadian dollar, it's going to be brutal. Oh wow, 1 euro is 1.48 Canadian. That's rough. So 100 Canadian dollars only gets you 67 euro dollars. Oh, that's tough. I guess if you have US dollars, it's not as bad. 100 US dollars gets you what? How many euros? 84 euros. Yeah, see, that's a lot better. See, that's another thing I can't afford. It's like going to somewhere like Europe would be super expensive for me. Because let's say, because whenever you go on vacation, you expect to spend a few $1,000s, right? So even if I were to get, like, say I spend 5,000 Canadian dollars, that would only get me 3,300 euros. Man, you have to just pay so much. Yo, life is expensive. Life is so expensive. Oh, wow. Oh, speaking of currency, one thing that's interesting about this whole YouTube stuff, since I got monetized, I think it was like two months ago or so, that I put like those ads on my videos, and it kind of makes like $1 every day. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it's making like 30 US dollars a month, and when I convert it to Canadian, it's maybe like 40 bucks. So that's like a little extra money that I've sort of been putting away on the side, that I want to use it to sort of reinvest in the channel somehow. I don't really know how, because I've used so much of my own personal money to buy, like, like all the camera gear and all the stuff, microphones and drones and things that I use. But I'm trying to figure out ways like what can I do to make my channel or videos better? Like, I want to sort of reinvest in what I'm doing some way or another, because this is sort of like the Mr. Beast mentality, where every dollar that he made from his YouTube video, he just used it to reinvest back into his channel. And I would love to do that in some way or another, but we'll have to see. Oh, that's interesting. The cool thing in France is that the fact that there are a lot of discounts on some websites. I save so much money sometimes. Really? Like French websites? I guess you guys have like a lot of sales for things. That's pretty cool. Because especially if you're in university in France, do you guys have, is it like super expensive, or is it subsidized by the government? Like, what is that like? Is it like how it is here, where everything is like cripples your bank account just to buy like one book or one textbook? Because I know here, to go through 1 year of university, you'll spend easily $10,000 easily on like your tuition, your books and materials and all this stuff for 1 year in 2 semesters of university. You're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars. And if you can't get like government assistance for students, it's, it can be a huge financial burden. But I know that some places in Europe, they have a different stance on post-secondary education. I always wondered how that works. And I think that even, and the US is even worse than us. They're looking at like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt just to get like a bachelor's degree. Let's look up average cost of university. According to Statistics Canada, the average tuition fees for undergraduate international students are $29,000 per year. Oh my gosh. That's insane. And if you're living in Canada, you're looking at an average of $9,300 per year on average, as per 2018. Huh. That was 2018 though. You could go finish school for free in Norway. Oh, really? Oh, that's amazing. Everything else is expensive though. Yeah, that's true. I would love to visit one of those, like, you call it Scandinavian countries, like Norway, Finland, Sweden, Denmark. Like, I would love to go visit one of those places sometime. But yeah, I could imagine too, everything is super expensive there. Depending on what you study, but even the most expensive schools, but it's not crazy as the US. But there is a lot of help from the government. See, that's really good. It's good when like the government can provide support to students, because you guys are reinvesting in your future, right? Because the students are going to be the future workers and influencers of your country, right? It's just, I don't know, the way we do it here in North America, it just doesn't make sense to me. I feel so bad for these kids that are like 18 years old, right? They're 17 or 18, and they have to decide a career that they're going to do for the next 50 years when you're 18, right? And you're going to go into hundreds and thousands of dollars in debt to get that degree, right? And you can't get rid of that debt. Like in the US, even if you declare bankruptcy, student debt is something that you can't escape from. It will stay with you forever. And normally that student debt occurs interest the day after you finish your degree, right? So we're sending kids that are 22 years old, fresh out of university, into the workforce with hundreds and thousands of dollars of student debt. And you're expecting them to try to get ahead in life. Like, it's so crippling. Like, I don't even know like how people are going to do it in the future. For example, my school is expensive, but I choose the work-study program. Huh. So I study while working for a company that pays me. And this is a company who paid for my studies. Oh, that's amazing. Wait, so you can study while working for a company and they pay you. And this is a company who paid for your education. See, we have something similar to that. I think it's like if you finish your first 2 years, I think for your third year you have an option for what's called co-op, where you can take like a semester to work for a company. But in the past, a lot of these internships, they were like kind of unpaid. So you'd be working like 40 hours a week for a company that wouldn't pay you. And now eventually, I think they did overturn this and kind of change this where students are getting compensated, right? Which is good. But I just think it's insane to just burden young people with extreme amounts of financial debt before they reach the age of 25. Like that just seems so crazy to me. I feel like there needs to be a better way to help people succeed, right? Because take a look at me, for example. I never figured out what I wanted to do in life until I was like 31, 32. That's when all these things kind of started to click. So from 18 to 32, there's like a 14-year period there where I was still trying to figure things out, right? And if I had hundreds and thousands of dollars of student debt, I would never be able to take a chance and try other things, right? Because I'd be forced to be thrusted into the 9 to 5 and work a job just to pay off my student debt, right? And I wouldn't have any opportunities to try any other creative endeavors in life or try any new experiences. And it took me so long to figure it out, right? But imagine if you're 22 and maybe that economics degree is not something you want to do anymore. Like, okay, then now maybe you try something else. But no, you can't. Now you have like $200,000 in student debt, so you can't really try anything else. So you have to use an economics degree to work to try to pay off your student debt. And this is like this financial trap that young people get stuck in, right? And I feel like we need to do a better way. We need to do something, right? To give them an opportunity to not get entrapped by the system. But like I said, like I don't know what the answer is though. Like I don't know what you do. In France, the work-study program, the companies have to pay every student no matter what they are studying. Oh, see, that's really good. See, so there's forced compensation. So these companies they have to compensate the students. See, whereas here in North America, you have these unpaid internships that you can get here, and companies justify this by saying, "Oh, hey, we're a big name company. The work experience you get from working with us is more than enough. It's way more valuable than anything else." And then they don't pay these kids, right? That's what I feel is wrong. But what you guys have, where companies have to pay every student no matter what they're studying, that's pretty cool. Because look, if you're an adult or an older person or a student, like it doesn't matter who you are, what your age is. If you're working for a company, you're working for a company. So you should be compensated like everyone else, right? Oh, the real problem for the French students is the prices of rent. Where I live, it's pretty decent, but if you live in Paris, it's so bad or so hard. Yeah, it's similar here in downtown Toronto. Like if you're a student and you want to live downtown in the core, where all the big universities are, it's probably similar to Paris. Like any tiny apartment to rent is it's insane. Most of the students here, they generally live outside of the city. They kind of live where I live, in like the outskirts of like sort of like the residential communities, because I'm sort of outside of the city. So I live in the suburbs, right? So I think most people here, they can't afford to live downtown Toronto. So they live in the suburbs and they commute downtown every day, which is like an hour and 30 minutes usually if you take like the train or the bus. But I think Paris probably has a similar problem as to Toronto, where there's only so much land, right? There's only so many places, apartment buildings and condos where you can live. And it's not like they can discover any more land in downtown Paris, right? It's probably like built up just like Toronto, where everything is just, all the space has been utilized. So I kind of understand that in a way, because like what are you gonna do about it, right? Like it's so hard. Like if everyone wants to live in the downtown cities, you know, like it's gonna be expensive. But at least where you live, it's decent though. That's good. I'm sure that all major cities probably have this problem, if I had to guess. Because like imagine if you lived in like downtown New York or something where like the population is super dense. I don't know how any student would be able to find like an affordable apartment to live there. You'd have to probably live in like uptown and then take a bus or the subway or something. That's probably like the only way that it works. Sort of miss school. Those days were a lot of fun. It's crazy though, because that was like 2003 for me. High school, or not high school, university. That's like such a different time. Like, was YouTube even around? When was YouTube created? Well, YouTube was created in 2005. So when I was in university, YouTube didn't even exist. Oh man, that sounds like one of those stories that I'm gonna tell like my grandkids or something, or my daughter. You know, like, oh, back in my day, there was no YouTube to look up videos and how to do things. Yeah, old timer. Yeah, old timer. That's perfect. That's exactly what it is. It's so funny. Oh no, a friend of mine has to do an unpaid internship in London. Oh man. That's tough. The prices were so high. Yeah, because you gotta... Wait, does London, England, they have their own currency, right? The British pound? They don't use the euro, right? British pound to euro. Oh, really? The euro, the British pound is worth more than the euro. So 1 euro gets you 0.85 pounds. Dang, yeah, that's crazy expensive. And it's unpaid. Oh, I hope your friend has saved up a bunch of money from like working in the summer or something. That's tough. Dang. I don't know if I'd ever want to visit the UK. I've never really had an urge to go there for whatever reason. Canada is strange though, because we were like Oh, they're here? Okay. Alright, hold on guys. I'll be right back. I got some friends that are downstairs. I'm just gonna go say hi. Be right back in a bit. Oh, games. Oh yeah. Hi, Ivy. Hi. And there's a bunch of shoes in there. There's like a bunch of duct tape stuff in here. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm staring right now. Thanks, guys. Thank you. See you later. Bye. Oh. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. Yeah, some people just some of my friends just came by to drop off some stuff. Can you say hi? Wait, what do I don't need these. Can you say hi? Can you say hi to Forrest and Batiste? Now he is gone. He found a good job in France. Oh, that's cool. Good for him. Hey, do you see the stream? Oh, I know. Leopard. You say hi to Forrest? See, Forrest says hi. You say hi? What? What do you see? Oh no, don't touch that. No. Being shy. Hi from Cali. Hey, John, what's up? No, you don't like it? Oh, you're scared? Okay, hold on. Let me put her back downstairs. All right. Sorry, guys. Yeah, some of my my friends just came by, and they dropped off some clothes for Tiffany. It's always awesome getting hand-me-downs. What's going on, John? How you doing? Is that a Rubik's Cube in your picture? Yeah, where is my Rubik's Cube? I think my Rubik's Cube is here somewhere. I had this discussion with a bunch of friends. What would have been your dream job if you were living in a different time? Middle-aged, industrial revolution. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Like living in a different time, like back in the day, where there's like no internet and stuff like that. Middle Age Industrial Revolution. That's tough. If it's like, if we're talking about like knights and horses and stuff, I'd probably be something like a blacksmith, I think. Like something that's safe, like a job that's like safe. But that's probably what I would try to go towards. Or be like a jester or something, like a clown. Something ridiculous. This should happen more often. I'm an upcoming senior in high school. You got any tips for college or just life in general? I'm always anxious thinking about it. Oh man, that's super normal. Especially when you're a senior in high school. If you don't have like, if you haven't found yet a specific subject that you gravitate towards, it's going to be very difficult because your friends and family and your parents are kind of going to force you to choose a subject in college, and it might not be something that you have a passion for, right? So I think there's two ways you can look about doing this. If you found something that you really enjoy and that you really liked doing, it could be like something in English or math or whatever it is, if there is that one subject that you enjoy and you can pursue a degree in that field, then I feel like you're much better off and much more likely to succeed in the future. But if you're forced to choose something just for the sake of choosing, then I'd be very careful with your decision, right? Because this is going to impact your life in a huge way, right? Especially like you're from California. So you're looking at the American school system. So colleges in California are definitely not cheap, right? I have friends that live in California that took like computer science and computer programming and stuff. And it's hard, right? Because I don't want to sway you away from education, because education is very important, but it's also like you're going to be making a decision that's going to impact the rest of your life, right? And the best tips I can give you is if you can, try not to get forced into a path that you don't want to pursue, right? Especially if you're being forced into a career or a subject that you don't like, and you're going to incur a huge amount of student debt on top of that. Like, it's going to be very difficult, right? Because then what's going to happen? Say you finish your degree, you're going to have to enter the workforce in Cali, and you're going to have big student loans or whatever, unless you can just afford it, right? And you're going to have to kind of pay those off right away. But if you study a program that you don't really enjoy, then that type of work is something you're not going to enjoy either, right? Then you're going to dread and be stuck in the rat race of the 9 to 5. So this is very it's very hard. If there's a way, I don't know if the US has this, but we have this in Canada, where you could do an extra year of high school. So here, high school was grade 9 to grade 12. But when I was there was an option to do another year, grade 13. So I opted in for that, and I felt like that was so much more beneficial for me, because I had a whole another year for my brain to develop and my personality to develop and to grow as a human being, right? And even just that 1 year can make a huge difference in terms of what you want to do in your life, right? And even if you're 18 or 19, it doesn't matter what you do, it's gonna be difficult. But like, I get the anxiety, I get the anxiousness that you're feeling about it. It's very hard, you know. And this is a question that has so many different complex answers. Like, there's no one answer here that is right or wrong, right? There's only what is the best decision that you can make for yourself. And I would suggest looking at all aspects, all avenues. Like, what are all your options? Like, what are all the options that you have? And is this a discussion that you can have with your parents, right? Like, what if you really know what you want to do, then I say kind of go for it, right? Like, if you have a love for finance or economics, or name the profession, if you have a love for a certain path, then I say go for it. But if you don't, then I think you need to take very deliberate consideration on what to do next. And I would seek advice from your parents or someone that's older than you. And, you know, try to be open-minded, and hopefully they'll be open-minded as well. And you can kind of discuss what the best course of action will be for you, because this is not an easy decision to make. And I hate it when people are like, yeah, it's education, it's important, just go and do it. Like, it's not. It's going to impact the rest of your life, right? This is a huge decision that you have to make when you're like 18 years old. So depending on the circumstance, you know, get some advice from someone, parents, counselor, like figure out what your options are, right? I think that would be the best thing to do. Try to like figure out all the possible courses of action you can take, and then just try to make the best decision that you can. I'd be a witch? Oh, you mean to Batiste's question? I'm like, you'd be a witch? Let's see. Batiste has some advice. My main advice would be, it is going to be difficult, and a fail is not an end. Don't run away from the thunder. Learn how to dance in the rain, like we say in France. Hey, there you go. Embrace the adversity. I wanted to pursue astronomy. Oh, that's cool. But the difficulty turned me in the other direction. So now I just plan on doing something in the engineering field. Okay. Well, one good thing about engineering is anything like computer related, engineering related, programming related, these are all like things that are going to be in need in the future, right? So interesting story is I wanted to be a computer engineer. That's something that I love to do. I loved computers. I loved building computers and programming and I loved everything about technology when I was younger. And I wanted to get into computer engineering. But unfortunately, the grades that you needed were really high to get in. Like you needed like 90s for the program that I wanted. And I had 80s. I didn't have 90s in high school. I had 80s. So I kind of had to settle for the next best thing, which was computer science, which is more of the software-based programming stuff. But I didn't love that as much as I loved the engineering side, right? So like I sort of had to settle for the lesser option. And in the end, like programming was something that I didn't love. It wasn't something that I loved to do. So it kind of fell out of favor fast for me, and I think it was like second year, I kind of dropped out because it was something that I didn't want to do. So like I get it, like some things are really hard to get into, right? But if you enjoy like the engineering type of stuff, right, then that's always like a pretty good thing to do. Oh, there's a difference between programming and yeah, exactly, computer science. So like here, I wanted to do computer engineering, right? And comp sci was like all software based stuff, like C++. Well, back in those days, it was C++, JavaScript, and all of that. Now the programming languages have changed, and engineering was less of the programming, right? So like when I decided to major in computer science, like it was heavy programming. It was a whole lot of syntax errors and debugging and all that nonsense that I just despised. And it was, and in all, to be perfectly honest, it was too hard for me. It was too difficult, because if you don't have a passion for something like computer science and computer programming, like if you don't love it, it's so difficult of a thing to force yourself to do, because it's so hard, right? And it was too hard for me. Like, to be perfectly honest, I wasn't good enough at it. But because I settled for it, it didn't really work out. Now, of course, that doesn't immediately apply to your situation, because everyone's situation is different, right? But I guess take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, definitely is a difference. There's also something I wanted to understand sooner, but don't let anyone tell you what is going to make you happy. You're the only one who will know what it is, even if it takes time. Yeah, Batiste is like dead on right there. Like, don't let anyone tell you. Like, like what will make you happy, you know? Like your parents want you to do well. They want to protect you. They want you to succeed. They want to do what's best for you, right? But at the same time, right, only you know what is best for you, right? And it's interesting because this perspective is coming from someone who is a parent now, right? So now I'm a parent, and all of a sudden I have this mindset like I want to do everything to protect my daughter. I want her to be safe. I want her to do all these things. But also, you know, I want her to have free will. I want her to grow up and be her own person. I want her to find her own happiness in her own way. And I don't want my beliefs to impose on her life in that way, right? It's a tricky situation. But Baptiste is right though. Again, for me, it took a lot of time to find, you know, what made me happy, what brought me passion and joy. But the thing is, if you take the path that I took, wait, hold on. I never did any extracurriculars in high school, which is scaring me when it comes to college acceptance. Huh. Yeah, I don't really know how extracurricular activities work in the US. But I think here you only needed like kind of minor community service hours, and kind of that was about it. I'm sure if you're trying to apply to like a more prestigious program, that extracurriculars have more importance, I'm guessing. I don't really know. Oh, it's just clubs and sports. Oh, I see. So they kind of want you to be part of like the school spirit? Is that the idea? It is very interesting because even though like Canada and US are neighbors, we are very different in a lot of ways, right? Like Canada doesn't have this national pride and focus on clubs and sports and activities. Like we don't have that here. It's very different. It's like we lack patriotism, and we sort of lack like that sense of team. Like, you know how like the NCAA in the US is huge, and everyone's like, yeah, you know, North Carolina or Duke or whatever, and it's like this huge team mentality, and you're part of the group, and it's like we kind of lack that here. It's like not the same. Oh, it's supposed to look good on your transcript. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, but like it's like it is what it is, right? It's like if you don't have it, you don't have it. It's, you know, so unless you can do something now. But yeah, I don't know how the extracurriculars, how important or not they are. Because I remember for me, we didn't need any of that. We needed nothing. All that the university cared about were what was our averages in English, the maths, sciences, and any other courses related to your program. I think that was about it. If you did any community service or extracurriculars, or you're like, I don't know, a valedictorian or something, maybe that would help. But over here, it was never like a big thing. But yeah, like I said, it's different, right? It's completely different how we do things. It's strange. I don't know. I hope you figure it out, though. You know, definitely, you know, take your time. Like, be deliberate with your decision, because this is a big decision you have to make, right? Try to, you know, weigh out all your options. You know, talk to as many friends and parents, relatives, intelligent people as you can, right? To give you perspective. I mean, I'm in my gaming guild club, but you know, it's gaming, so I don't know if it counts. I have done volunteering at my Viet school, and I'm part of media production on gaming team, so IG it counts. Oh, cool. You go to Vietnamese school? Oh, that's wicked. Yo, Vietnamese food is the bomb. If anyone out there that's listening to this or watching this that hasn't tried Vietnamese food, man, you're missing out. My tune? Oh, this is your jam, Forrest. I know it shouldn't build my future around that, but it just irks me. I used to. Yeah, trust me, it's tough, man. Like, I get it. Like, I completely understand, like, what you were going through. Because another thing that, you know, people don't get is, like, the Asian parents kind of scenario that happens, right? There's like this huge push, you know, from Asian parents to like the importance of getting a degree, the importance of university, and they kind of like want you to do it at all costs, right? Like in my family, on my mom's side, that's Japanese, all of her brothers are computer engineers, like all of them. Like she has like 5 brothers, and they're all graduates from University of Toronto with computer engineering degrees. So like I was supposed to be that too, and there's this huge push towards post-secondary education, right? It's hard. I just had Vietnamese lemongrass chicken an hour ago. Yo, that Vietnamese lemongrass chicken is so bomb. It's with like on rice with those the pickled vegetables or whatever. So good. Oh, your mom is not like that. Oh wow, yeah. See, that's good. Because a lot of Asian parents are like, you have to go to university. If not, you're a failure. Like that's kind of like the mindset, unfortunately. Oh yeah, and the fish sauce. How do you say fish sauce? There's like do you have it with the spring roll too, the chaya or whatever? I don't know how to say it. Oh, fish sauce is like Nuke Mom or something? Nuke Mom? Is that it? Yeah, Nuke Mom. Yo, that is the best. I love that on the vermicelli with the pork and the shredded pork and the spring roll and all that. One day in the Asian district of Paris, I saw a guy with a t-shirt. I survived to my strict Asian parents. Oh man. It's tough because they mean well, right? Like the whole Asian parents things of being extremely disciplined and strict is like they want the best for their kids, right? And they value education so much, and it's just it's coming from a place of love, right? But it's just at the same time, you know, one way of life doesn't apply to everybody, right? Like we all live completely different lives, we all have completely different paths. So this idea of university is a must, this is the only way, this is something that you have to do, you know, it might not be for everyone, right? Like it wasn't for me. Could my life have been better if I did it? You know, sure, of course it could have been, but you know, unfortunately that wasn't my path. So but I get it. I get it. Now I'm hungry. All this talk about Vietnamese food. What was the last dish that I had? I think I had the clear noodles last time with the seafood, with the crab and the squid. I think it's squid. Broken rice. Yo, everyone's gonna get hungry now. Yeah, I think Vietnamese food became like my favorite type of food. Like I don't think I've ever had like a bad meal at a Vietnamese restaurant. Like I don't think I've ever had like a bad dish. And like I've tried like so many different things. But yeah, the lemongrass chicken on rice is bomb. Even that one where it's like the pork chop. It's like the pork chop on rice where there's like the fried egg and the like slices of tomato and the pickled what is it? It's like white. It's like a radish or a daikon or something. It's like the pickled. Well, one is carrot, cucumber, and there's like a white one. I think it's radish. Yeah, that's good too. I don't know the names of any of these dishes. But California has some good Vietnamese food. That's broken rice. Oh yeah, it's like this, like the grains or like, yeah, daikon. Man, that's so good. We have some of that downstairs sometimes. Tina has it like in that giant jar. Yeah, when I went to California a couple years ago, I went to one of my friends who lives there. He's Vietnamese. He took us to a couple spots, and the Vietnamese food's really good. Little Saigon. I don't know. I thought about like going to like visiting Vietnam as like a vacation spot. But then I looked up the weather and oh my god, it's so hot. It's like by the forest, right? Let me see, that's the weather in Vietnam. It's like super hot there, right? 31. Oh man, Thursday it's gonna be 37 in Hanoi. Huh. Tonight I'm having duck breast. Damn, it's so good, especially if the duck is from southwest of France. Southwest of France? Do they like specialize in ducks there or something? I really like duck too. I like duck noodles with bok choy is bomb. But why southwest of France? Is that like a specific region that has like really good duck? I was planning to do my internship in Vietnam this year. Oh wow, really? Dang, that's cool. Internship at Vietnam. Spaghetti bolognese. Yes. Yo, love spaghetti. Yo, that's the Italian part of me. The pasta. The only bad thing about like Italian food, like I feel like death after, like when I have like a huge bowl of spaghetti or linguine or anything like Italian, I always feel like I want to go to bed, and it just puts me in a coma. But the ones from my mother. Well, right now it feels like heaven. Man, you guys are making me like super hungry. You know what I was doing during the whole COVID stuff? like me and Tina, we were trying to go to like our favorite Vietnamese restaurants that we love to go to, and we would try to get like takeout, you know, and sort of like leave them like a tip as much as we could to sort of like help support, you know, like local businesses. And I was thinking like, man, after COVID ends, like if our like favorite Vietnamese restaurants in our areas kind of close down, like I'd be so sad, you know, because like you in your communities you find like your favorite spots, like these favorite restaurants and hole in the walls that you love to go to, and it, you know, they might not be a big box corporation, but every dollar they make per day counts. And I was like, man, I'd be so sad if my favorite spots were forced to close down because of COVID. So it's like, you know, I was trying to support them like, you know, the best I could. Because that's a hard business too. Like owning a restaurant. Man. Oh, that's funny. In France, there's a lot of meals that'll put you to sleep. That's so funny. What is that that duck thing called? Foie gras or something? What is it called? Is that the right word? Foie gras? How do you spell that? I have no idea how to spell foie gras. Foie gras. It's like a duck something. Made of the liver of a duck. Oh man, that's crazy. What is... Okay, I know what fondue is, but those other 4 words, I have no idea what those are. Cassoulet? Okay, I'm just gonna... I'm interested. I'm just gonna do some Googling. Cassoulet. Soulet? Cassoulet? A hearty, slow simmered stew of sausage. Typically duck. Huh. Oh, it's slow cooked. Oh, that's how you spell it. Foiegras. Oh my gosh. I was like putting in FORGU. Like I was spelling it so bad. It's so funny. Okay, hold on. What is this? Garbure? French ham and vegetable stew. It's interesting because my dad would know all these dishes because he's a chef. Like, I think he's specialized in European and French cooking, so he knows all this stuff. Raclette? How do you say that word? Oh, it's like cheese. It's like melted cheese. Oh, that looks bomb. What's the last one? Aligot? Mashed potatoes with cheese. Oh my gosh, look at the cheese on that thing. That sounds like something that Tina would love. Mashed potatoes with cheese. Huh. So what's for dinner, Baptiste? Because you guys are ahead in time, right? Or maybe you had dinner already. That's another thing that I love about traveling is the food. Man, like the food you get to experience from different countries and cultures is, oh, it's the best. I think one of the best experiences I had with food was probably Japan. Not just because like the type of food, but like the way you purchased it. It was so bizarre. Like you would buy things with like through a vending machine, and then the vending machine would dispense tickets, and then they would make your meal based on those tickets. Whereas like in North America, you kind of like you get seated first by like a waiter or something, and they give you a menu, right? Then you pick what you want to order, then they bring it back. Whereas in Japan, it's like before you enter the restaurant, you purchase exactly what you want outside, and then you go inside. It's very strange there, and I was like, wow, what a weird way to eat a meal. But then I realized it kind of makes sense, right? Because then you're not paying any staff, you're not paying any service staff or waiters. All you have is like a vending machine outside the front door, and then like that's it. And then you have like the chefs and the cooks in the back. So that's one thing that I do miss about traveling to other countries is this whole idea of experiencing food through other cultures and different types of meals, and you know, ways that people share food together, right? Ooh, Turkish food for me. What's good? And I don't know anything about Turkish food. Unfortunately, there's like there are areas in like downtown Toronto where you can get Turkish food, but it's kind of like hard to get to, or harder to get to. What's a good Turkish dish? Or even like, what are some of your like native dishes in like Kosovo? Like I always, like I'm always interested to see like what foods am I missing? Oh man, look at this. For dinner, duck breast with French fries, and for dessert, how do you say that? Basque cake? Some kind of cake with black cherries. So fancy. Cake. Basque? Oh, it's like a cake with like powdered sugar on top? Oh man. Now that's a good meal. Lebanese food. See, again, like these are all things that like I never tried. Even though like Canada and Toronto is super multicultural, there's some, you know, there's some cultures that slip through the cracks and you never get to try their type of cuisine. Lebanese food. Well, it's like a mix of Turkish and Italian. Oh, that's cool. But when I was in Turkey, I like this dessert called... No idea how to say that word. I'm going to Google that. Kunife? Turkish dish? Whoa! What is that? That thing looks crazy. Is a traditional Middle Eastern dessert made with phyllo pastry? Shredded phyllo pastry? I have no idea what any of this is. Or alternatively, fine semolina dough? Phyllo pastry or semolina dough. I have no idea what those are. Soaked in a sweet sugar-based syrup and typically layered with cheese or with other ingredients such as clotted creams or nuts, depending on the region. Oh. That looks crazy. It looks like crispy on the outside, but like gooey in the middle. Dang, that looks bomb. What's the green powdery stuff on top? What is that? Huh. Normally I never liked these. Maybe it was just me being somewhere else. Yeah, you always like, or also maybe you stumble up across like a place that makes like a dish really well, right? Because that happens sometimes too, right? In Paris, there are restaurants from almost every country. Yeah, it's like that here. Like whenever you go downtown, like downtown to the core, you got like every walks of life in Toronto, like all over the place. Because the only problem is like getting there is kind of tough. Turkish desserts. That's cool. Wow. Well, I'm gonna have to have something to eat. You guys made me super hungry. Oh, hey, we hit is it 2 o'clock? Oh yeah, it's 2 o'clock. We hit 2 hours. That was fun. Oh, quick question for you guys. How often do you guys like these live streams? Like, is 2 a month good or not enough? Or would you prefer 1 a month? Like what? I guess what I'm asking is I want some feedback on the live streams. You guys enjoying them? Should I do them more often or less frequently? Because right now I'm planning to do 2 a month, I think. So I'm still trying to figure out what to do. 2 a month is good. I kind of like the 2 a month because it sort of like spaces them out. 2 a month is good. Oh, okay, perfect, awesome. So we're all on the same page. Because also by doing 2 a month, it gives like time in between for like a bunch of stuff to happen, right? And so that's always good. All right, cool. Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm gonna end the stream shortly. Hit the like button, I guess, if you enjoyed it. I don't know what that does. I have no idea what the like button does, if it even does anything at all. But if you liked it, let me know. And we'll plan the next stream. I'm guessing we'll say August 14th. August 14th. So 2 weeks from now. All right, Forrest, Batiste, John, if you're still there, and everyone else who came by, really appreciate talking to you guys. You know, thank you guys so much for coming by. And you know, these streams don't happen unless, you know, I have someone to talk to, and it's always great hearing stories from you guys. And you know, I learn like so many things just by the conversations we have, and you know, it's been super fun. That was so cool. Thank you, Derek. I'm so hungry. Yeah, you too. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Take it easy, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Peace, peace, peace.